Okay, hello everyone and good evening, good night. It's 1 a.m. from down under. Yeah, I am parked outside the house where I have got some Wi-Fi connection. I hope you'll be able to hear me loud and clear. I'm going to look at the comments in parallel so that you know this is in fact a live transmission. Okay, so those of you who are watching the replay and wondering, and we've got unfortunately a hell of a gust, so what I've done is you can hear the chimes from the house. Okay, so that is an indication of the wind, and I've actually parked the car behind me to give me some wind protection, because the wind is really howling from behind, and I protected the microphone as best I can. So just give me an indication before I continue whether you can at least hear me loud and clear. I know that there'll be you may hear the wind too, but I've done everything I can to protect us from the wind. You see, I've got it's about 46 Fahrenheit, for just 45, 46 Fahrenheit, which corresponds to a few degrees above zero. I'm not freezing in any way, but the gust of wind sometimes is a bit disturbing, so I'll just wait till the delays come in. Oh, sound is good, thank you. Now I'm hearing that. That's great. Okay, that's good. Okay, so thank you, the sound is good. Thank you. Okay, anyway, thank you my friends for being that. You can hear me loud and clear. I'm so glad I've coped, because the sound is the audio is very difficult to cope with. It's taken me a long time to figure out how to protect this against the wind. But anyway, I'm really delighted to be able to show it to you, because why am I doing this live? Because I am absolute. Hi Mark, my friends. Hi Kirsty, Paula, Kathy. I see all of you. Debbie, it's so great to have you. Thank you for participating in this live session. I'm very appreciative. Susan, I'm saying hello to everyone here that I'm seeing the comments in parallel, and there's unfortunately always a delay about 30 to 40 seconds. So as I read your comments, it should actually be working. Good morning, Karen. Oh, it's wonderful to have all of you. Kathy, it's like I like 45 degrees. Well, you know, I'll tell you something, Kathy, you like 45 degrees, but it's not easy to do all this in parallel. I am blinding myself a little bit so you can actually see me, and I have to have night vision to know where I'm pointing. But fortunately nowadays we have a camera. Okay, so it can be. Hi Marge from the Sunshine Coast also. You know, I'm so delighted to have see all of you here. Really happy. It makes it it thrills me, because up here it's quite lonely actually. But it is incredibly beautiful. Why I'm doing this? Okay, let's get to the point now. I'm doing this because from all the major cities, you hardly see what the Milky Way is. In fact, the children, oh, and here comes another gust of wind. So many children haven't actually never seen. Someone says, I can't hear a thing. YouTube says waiting. That's strange. You should, Kirsty, you should be able to see me live now. I think the others will confirm that. Waiting for, that is strange, because I definitely am live. I can see that, and I can see it from the comments. So I maybe just refresh your page, okay? Just static pick for someone else too. Oh, that is not good. Static? I'm just typing in this. We just have to deal with this technical problems. Oh dear. Okay, guys, stream is great. Okay, so yeah, reload. Okay, I just typed it in, reload. Okay, sorry for delaying this a little bit. I just have to make sure that everything is fine. Okay, that everybody can follow that. Yeah, close and return. Right, Mark. Sometimes YouTube plays up with this. You have to restart the window. Hi, Pascal. I recognize all your names. Very nice. Pascalou. Very nice. Behind me you can hear a roaring dome, so I had to restart. Exactly, that's unfortunately no static here. Okay, good. So we are fine. Okay, we're about 4 minutes into the broadcast now, and hopefully everything's fine. We've got quite a gust picking up, so that's something I cannot control. Okay, so we in the major cities nowadays have no possibility to see to see the Milky Way. Most of our children have never seen the Milky Way. It is actually so sad. You know, we live in a very hectic city. We are surrounded by Twitter. We have to follow everyone, and in the end we don't even follow ourselves. By following ourselves, I mean take some time, take some peace, and look at the night sky. Go out and have some peace. Every soul needs peace, and I'm really saying this in a very unscientific and broad, healthy manner. Take the time and look at the night sky, and that's what this session is all about. I want you to enjoy this together with me, and we now have the technical means to sit here and to really share something incredibly beautiful with you, okay? So I know many of you may have never seen the Milky Way, or those of you who have seen it, if you go out to lonely areas of Arizona, Texas, parts of California and so on, you will be able to see it, okay? But if you come to the south, the southern Milky Way is even more incredible than the northern Milky Way. That's nothing. I can't find my cell phone. Oh dear. Yeah, don't get rushed with all the politics and everything going on. Take a moment and really take the time once in your life and show yourself, do yourself a favor and look at the sky, okay? So, having said that, this is how it's going to work. I have a camera attached, and I'm just going to switch my face away here. Okay, so this is what my live camera is seeing at the moment. You can see there's a reflection at the moment. I've watched being, oh, there come some comments. I've been watched him being born. Okay, because there happened to be, okay, there's some good discussions going on. But you can see I'm just going to move the camera up and down. You can see that the camera's moving up and down here, and that is the house, in fact, that you're looking at. And just above the house, you see two stars. I'm going to switch off the light a second. Just faintly, you'll see two stars. That's part of the Southern Cross that we're seeing there. You cannot see the rest of the Southern Cross at the moment. The reason for that is it's just the time of the year where it is exactly at this time, and I've done this. I've done this show to be able to broadcast this in North America so that you'll be able to appreciate it, but I cannot move the sky for you. And actually the Milky Way is moving towards the west. We will see the Milky Way, but the main part of the Southern Cross has just disappeared. But you can actually see Alpha and Beta Centauri, which are very bright pointers of the Southern Cross when you look towards the south. Something you cannot see from North America. That is very different, okay? Your broadcast is not on my cell phone. Oh, I see. But you're on my tablet. Well, fine, okay. I'm reading all your comments. That's good. Excellent. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is the following. I'm going to take a 10-second picture. Okay, I'm going to say this, I'm going to take a 10-second picture, and you're going to see this picture live. Okay, and it's taken with a 16mm lens, 16mm fisheye. It's fairly broad because I want you to see what I'm actually seeing. So let's start straight away. I'm going to switch off the live view now. You heard a small click, and now we're going to switch on 10 seconds. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, and so on. After 10 seconds, a picture should appear on the screen, and that is what I'm seeing live here. And that is a live view as I'm seeing this now, okay? This is absolutely stunning. So what are you actually looking at? This is really live, and it is absolutely miraculous. It's a 10-second exposure, and you can see how beautiful, this is what we call the Milky Way, and we live in our own galaxy. And we are looking towards the center of our galaxy, and this is, you can see that is our cottage on the left, and then you can see a dome, and I'm just going to use the arrow to point at the dome. That is nearly a 4-meter dome that you're looking at there. And yes, it is absolutely stunning. And this is a live picture, my friends. This is a live picture, okay? So after 10-second exposure, now you can see what we see here in Australia. And what I can even do for you is I can magnify the picture, which I will do now, okay? So let's zoom in. I'm going to zoom right into the Milky Way, okay? Let's zoom in, and here we go. We're zooming right into the Milky Way, right for you. So this is incredible, actually, because I'm going to now move the arrow so that you can actually see the structures of the Milky Way. Okay, isn't it beautiful? And this is what we see here in the southern hemisphere. And believe me, when I walk out at night, this is actually what I see. The Milky Way is so bright that even when the moon doesn't exist at the moment, which means it's new, of course the moon exists, but when the moon is very low, the Milky Way is so bright that that the road is illuminated, and I do not need a light when I walk. This is absolutely a 10-second exposure, and you can actually see. I'm going to just push the arrows here. This is exactly where the pointers are. You see that? These are the pointers from the Southern Cross, right? That's what it is. Are the blue things stars? Yes, they are. The stars have different colors, in fact, and the bluer they are, the more younger they are, and the brighter they are. So absolutely, these are all stars, okay? And I can zoom in even more. I'll do that for now. I'm going to zoom in as much as I can. This is a 16mm lens, and I can move across the sky now and show you all the different areas. And you can see something quite amazing here. I'm putting it right to there where the arrow is. Yeah, this is incredible. I'm moving to Siding Spring. Yes, you should, Kim. You should move to Siding Spring. This is really something that I don't know how to even show it to you. And if this comes across, we're going to take a few images of the Milky Way, and I will prove to you that this is all live. You can say, Christian, go point your camera to the left, to the right. I don't believe this. Zoom in there. We'll do all that, okay? So this is just incredible, because what you see there is one of the many nebula in our Milky Way. And before I go on and we jump into all these different beautiful features of the Milky Way, I'm going to zoom out again and go back to live view, and you can see let's just switch on the live view again. If I go back to live view, you see where the pointers are. They're exactly in the same position. So you will be able to see. What are the blue dots? They are all stars. Okay, I will. I'm going to now. We are now back in live view, and what you saw before was a 10-second exposure. After 10 seconds, we get these incredible images, and we're going to go up and down the Milky Way now and look at it in detail. Okay. So all the dark areas, yes, and I will explain it to you. So let's start in the beginning. I'm going to show you some animations now, so that it becomes easier. First of all, where are we is the big question. Where are we? That's always the question. We are inside a big spiral galaxy. Now, this has taken astronomers quite a long time to figure this out, but it is somewhere in the with Hubble, and after the famous astronomer Hubble, and a few others, Shapley and so on, they figured out that we actually live in a big spiral galaxy. And if you zoom into the spiral galaxy, which we will do now, okay, our sun is right here. Oops, sorry, I just moved the screen. I beg your pardon. Let me just get this right again. Our sun is right here. That's where our sun is. So our sun is on a spiral arm, and you can see that's called the Orion arm, okay? That's where our sun is. And we are nowhere in the center of anything, okay? We are just outside on a spiral arm. And now comes the interesting thing. When you look inside to the center of our galaxy, there is a huge, we know that now, there's a huge black hole there, right in the center, okay? Thank you, New Mexico. That is great. I'm reading all your comments. That's wonderful. So we are actually looking, all the stars that you see, 99% of all the stars that you see in the night sky are from our own galaxy. They are not from the universe out there. It's only in our own galaxy. All the stars that you admire at night are from inside our own Milky Way or galaxy. And in fact, what I've just shown you is quite remarkable, and we'll jump back, because from the southern hemisphere, and that has to do with the tilt of the Earth, we actually have the possibility to see the center of our galaxy fairly up in the zenith, which means it's right above. And that is where this famous black hole is actually located, okay? So that gives you a bit of orientation. And now I just want to give you a little bit more information. How many stars do you think there are in our galaxy? Well, the answer is there are approximately 100 billion. Now, nobody can count all the stars in our galaxy. There are about 100 billion, and we see only a fraction of them because most of them are covered by dust clouds, and we simply cannot look to the other side. But we can, with lots of calculations and so on, the approximate size of our own galaxies is 100 billion. 100 billion. That's a million, and another million gives you a billion, and 100 billion, okay? So a million is a 1 with 6 zeros. A billion is a 1 with 9 zeros. 100 billion is a 1 with 11 zeros. That's how many stars. And if you think that's not much, then think about this. This is something that this wonderful man, Carl Sagan, I'm a big fan of Carl Sagan, said. The total number of stars in the universe is larger than all the grains of the sand. All the grains. And how come he said that? How come he said that? Well, it's quite incredible, because we know now that in the universe, in the visible universe, there are about 2 trillion to 10 trillion galaxies. So 2 trillion to 10 trillion Milky Ways like ours. And each of them contain 100 billion stars. So if you add up all those, you come about to a 1 with 24 zeros. 24 zeros. 10 to the 24 zeros. That is more sand than all the beaches that we have on this planet together. It's at least 1,000 times more than all the sand. And that gives you an indication of how enormous our universe is. Okay, it is absolutely stunning. And we are somewhere on our tiny Earth. And this brings us right back, now that we have the orientation. Now we know approximately where we are. Our own galaxy, right across from one end to the other, measures about 100,000 light years. 100,000 light years. What does that mean? That means that light from the one side, oh, thank you, Al, that's very kind. That light from the one side to the other takes about 100,000 years. And now you'll ask me, I'm sure, well, how far are we away from this black hole? Okay, how far are we actually from the center? And I'm just going to point again to the center here. How far are we from the center of this black hole? And the answer is, we also know that it's about 25,000 light years. So that's very far. So there's no danger that anything crazy is going to happen. We are very far from there. Okay? It's only when you are in the vicinity of just a few light years where it gets a little bit shaky for you, because you start noticing the black hole and you get these funny effects which they call spaghettification, which means you're stretched into spaghetti. Yes. Well, let's go away from all that and let's get back to reality. Let's get back to our picture and let's take another a quick image of the Milky Way. Now, there's something interesting. The sky moves rather rapidly. So every time I take a picture, the sky will have moved a little bit. And now I want to show you where the center of our galaxy actually is. So let's take another picture. So I'm going to switch off this, and you can hear it by the click now. Listen carefully. You're going to hear one click. That's now the live view off. Okay, I'm just going to remove the arrow. And then you will hear a click from the shutter, a 1 second delay. And why do I 1 second delay? I've built a 1 second delay in the shutter so that vibrations that I cause on the camera will not cause any shake, okay? And then you have to count till 10, and then you'll hear another click, and then a beautiful image will appear. So here we go. Listen carefully. One click, another click, and now 1, 2, 3, and count till 10, and then a picture should appear. if everything goes well. And there we go. And that's the picture. That's the live picture. Now, this is absolutely fascinating because it looks so different in the south than it looks from North America. And why is it? The first thing you will notice, and I'm going to put my arrow there, is something really strange, a strange object here, okay? I'm going to just push my arrow here, and hopefully you will see this now. You should be able to. Let me just see if this works. Yes, I think it'll work. Yes. Now, what is that funny thing there? That's something that you don't have in the Northern Hemisphere. And in fact, there is another blob right above it. And these are called the Magellanic Clouds. The Magellanic Clouds. And these are other galaxies, in fact. It's something we don't see in the Northern Hemisphere. Or only if you are maybe in Florida, you can actually see the Magellanic Clouds. And these are satellite galaxies of our Milky Way. These are galaxies that are somewhere, and there are a few, and these are the big ones, the large Magellanic Cloud, and another satellite galaxy, though they're rotating around our own galaxy, okay? And there's the other one, the small Magellanic Cloud. And it's UFOs, I can see that. And these are, in fact, rotating around our own galaxy. Isn't that fascinating? So something our own galaxy is part of a cluster or a supercluster rotating around other galaxies and other centers. So we are very unimportant, but at least we have something that rotates around our own galaxy, okay? And this is something that's interesting because these two galaxies is something you don't have typically in the Northern Hemisphere, especially when you're up in Vancouver or you're situated in Paris or anything. You don't see this really. But from Florida and from Hawaii, you would definitely be able to see it. Okay, so that's the first interesting thing. Now, let's take a look at the Milky Way. Now, this is really fascinating. The local time here at the moment is 1:22 a.m. And you can see, actually, I'm going to zoom in now. I'm going to zoom in, and let's take a closer look at this fascinating Milky Way. It looks incredibly, and I mean it, when you stand here, it looks absolutely three-dimensional. And you can see there are very thick dust clouds. And they are really dust clouds because our own Milky Way is very active. In all this dust, there are new stars born. And we are also made of stardust. You may have heard all that. We ourselves are made out of stardust. And the most of the universe is made out of hydrogen. About 75% is hydrogen, the rest is helium, and then the rest of the fractions are what we call metals, and they are all the higher elements going from lithium all the way to iron and so on. Okay, but then you have these thick dust clouds, and we can't see through them. And one of the most famous dust clouds that you have in the Northern Hemisphere is called the Horsehead Nebula. If you have never seen the Horsehead Nebula, go and have a look at it. It is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to zoom in even more now to show you something very particular about this dust cloud here. And this here, in fact, you see this very, very sharp, thick dust clouds. These are part of Sagittarius, okay? There are different constellations. There's a constellation here of Scorpius. There's a constellation of I can never say the Ophiuchus, of course. I don't know. I always have Ophiuchus. Anyway, and then there's the other one of Sagittarius. There are three constellations that meet here, and this is actually very close to where the center of our galaxy is. Isn't that fascinating? Our own galaxy, this is the center where the black hole is located, and it's very, very close to this. And you can see this has the form of a horse. Look at this. This is the back leg of a horse, and if you look carefully, that looks like the head of the horse, and that is a front leg there of the horse, right? And you can actually recognize, and you can really see this. The sky, the Milky Way here is so bright. The sky is so clear that I can see this, really. Okay, so thank you for explaining the dust clouds. And you know what's interesting? These dust clouds are made of hundreds of thousands of solar masses. When we say a solar masses, that's the mass of the sun. Oh, thank you so much for giving some donations. I really appreciate that, because thank you so much, Kathy. I'll tell you why I appreciate this, because I'm self-sponsored, and this helps me really make exciting things for you. So I so appreciate the super chat here. That is so generous. So thank you for that. It's this keeps me going, and I would love to continue doing such such broadcasts for wildlife, for kangaroos, for the sky. I think this is so exciting. So thanks for doing that. I so appreciate it. Okay, so anyway, I have a lot more interesting things to show you. So let me click on the next image. This is something I was just going to show you. So this is a wide image of the Hubble telescope, and you can see the more you zoom in, these are part of the 2 trillion to 10 trillion galaxies out there that make up more than all the sand that adds up. Okay. And also I have an annotated image here, which corresponds very much to the image I've just shown you. Okay. You love hearing the accent in your voice when you speak. Thank you so much. That's very kind. Thank you, Julie. So what is interesting about this, I have actually annotated this together with a friend of mine in Sweden, and he has the whole, he has everything in his head. And as we zoom in, you can see that this whole region is absolutely fascinating, because you can see there's the horse. You recognize the horse. I'm going to jump back to our other picture now. That is an annotate. That's the live one. You see the horse there, and you see the labeled one. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong picture. Here you go, the labeled one. You can see the similarities. I mean, this is really amazing from its 10-second image that I get this same level of detail that I'm showing you here in a beautifully processed and annotated image. And I will zoom in even more, because let me just see if I can find it. I wanted to show you where our galactic center is. Yes, I'm moving up now, and you can see there is the back of the horse. You see it's called the galactic center. I will put my arrow back in. The galactic center is about right here, and this isn't that beautiful, that horse, isn't it? It is beautiful. And so now this is how you can, what I'm trying to show you is, I'm trying to orientate you in the southern hemisphere live now. So remember, approximately there's a star called 3 Sagittarius. You see that 3 SGR right above, and that is very close to, it's all in the constellation of Sagittarius. That's why I'm so so incredibly stunned by Sagittarius, because it's so clear here. And so just remember, let's try and find off the back of the horse 3 Sagittarius, and very close to that should be the galactic center. So I'm going to zoom in more now. So let's do it. Let's do all this. Okay, so let's zoom in as much as I can into the horse. There we go. That's the live picture we took, okay? And I'm just going to move the arrow out of the way and move the picture a little bit to this side. And if I read this correctly, this here should be 3 Sagittarius, right at the back of the horse, okay? Whoa, Kim, thank you. Thanks, Kim. I'm so pleased. Thank you, Kim, for the generous super chat. That's great. I hope and want to be able to do this all the time. Thank you so much, Kim. I appreciate that. That helps me. It keeps me going. That's wonderful. Yes, the Horsehead Nebula, Mark, is incredible. I spent so much time in my grandfather's study, and he had these beautiful books on philosophy, on history, and he had one particular book that I was fascinated on, and that was an astronomy book. And at that time, I saw a beautiful image of the Horsehead Nebula, and I always dreamt of taking that picture one day myself. Okay, however, the horse that you're looking here is not the Horsehead Nebula. That is just these are these intensive dust clouds that make it so much easier to find the center, our galactic center. So our galactic center, and I'm going to move the arrow a tiny bit now, should be approximately there. So let's jump back to the annotated picture again. Yes, that's approximately, you see 3 seconds, you see, that's fine. You see 3 Sagittarius there, and just below that is the galactic center. So we've seen the galactic center live, which is absolute. Thank you so much. I'm reading your comments. This is so exciting to do this all with you. Does the Sahara dust storm interfere with any of this sky? You know, that is a great question. I'm going to answer that question in a bit, because I've actually noticed that that the atmosphere that we have here, I'm just jumping back to our live picture now, 1 second, our live picture, or I should say the picture that we've taken 10 minutes ago. If you look clearly, you can see a little bit of red dust there, and in fact the air is very dry here, and you can see what we call a bit of air glow. That's called air glow. Sometimes air glow happens because there are chemical reactions in the air, okay, oxygen and other ionizations that happen, and sometimes it's also a little bit of red dust and so, okay. What makes that so great is it takes time to explain things. Well, thank you. I love explaining it because I've spent a lot of time, and I've got so many more exciting things to do and show you. But you know what? Let's jump back, and so I've shown you where the galactic center is. I've shown you the brightest part. You see that the brightest part, the part that is so incredible. It stands high up in the zenith here when you walk here around midnight or so, and it illuminates the street, the road. It's incredible, and I can even see the kangaroos illuminated by the Milky Way. I'm not joking. It is, if your eyes are properly adapted to the dark, you will be able to see that. Okay, very, very nice. Okay, so let's move the camera and let's do a little bit more. So I'm going to jump back to live view. Now you won't see much in live view because I've got a 16mm lens, but I want to turn slightly. You can see, if you look carefully, you'll see the stars move, and you'll see a little bit of a green patch, and I'm going to move the camera much more upwards now. I'm moving it upwards. I have a special lever that I can move the camera very easily upwards and down. So I'm letting it point much more upwards and behind me now, because I want to see if we can get some beautiful views of the tree and the Milky Way behind me now. Okay, so let's try and take a picture. I'm going to switch off the live view, 1 second, and now I'm going to do the same. Here we go. Click, and now have patience for 10 seconds. And let's see what we do. Let's see what we're going to see. I don't know what we're going to see because it's pointing behind me. I've just turned it. Oh wow! Thank you so much. That is beautiful. Thank you so much. Can we? What a name! You have $20. That is so appreciated. Now that's the view. That's. Thank you so much for your generosity. I so appreciate it. Now, isn't that incredible? That looks like a storm behind me. That's not a storm cloud. That's the Milky Way. We are looking at the Milky Way behind me, and you can see that. It's incredible. Look at the dust clouds. I'm zooming in live now, and this is a live picture. I'm not joking. I have not processed it in any way, and I'm just going along there, and there's our beautiful horse again, and I'm moving along that dust cloud into the trees behind me, and you can see the stars coming through, the hundreds of thousands of stars from our own Milky Way coming through. And you can see sometimes, if you look very carefully, and this is what makes it so fascinating, you can see there are sort of pinkish areas, okay? And if I put in a bigger lens now, you would be able to see that these pink areas are the birth centers. They are the nurseries for new stars. There's the Lagoon Nebula, which is famous. There's the so-called Trifid Nebula. There's the Eagle Nebula. For those of you who are fans of eagles and wildlife, there's the Eagle Nebula, all in this region. All these pinkish, reddish spots, and they are all caused by the emission of hydrogen. All caused by the... Thank you, Jenny. That is so generous. Jenny has just sponsored another $25. I really am excited. Thank you. And that is that you. If you keep me funded, I can tell you I will be excited to keep on. That is so great. What do you think about the solar eclipse? In 2017, I'll answer that very quickly. The solar eclipse, I'm going to Wyoming with a friend. I don't know if I'll be able to broadcast the solar eclipse live because there will be so much interference from cell phone. But what I will do is I'm going to take a lot of footage and I will do a special session on the solar eclipse for you. Okay, how's that? I will take a lot of footage and I'll put it all together if I can't show it live. Okay. That I can promise, because I think a lot of the cell phone networks will be blocked. Where is the Eagle Nebula? Good question. The Eagle Nebula is called M16, and it should be. Yeah, you know, I don't know if I can see it. Wait, you know what? I'm going to answer that question. Where is the Eagle Nebula? Was the question. Okay, so the Eagle Nebula is called M16. So I'm going to answer that question, and I'm going to look at my map here. There's the Eagle Nebula, M16. Okay, so this is what we have to do. This was where this was taken in April, where Saturn is. We have to go along this dark highway here, and we go along this very dark highway, and there are all these different nebula. There's M17, and then there's M16. M16 is right there. M16 is the Eagle Nebula. In my in my annotation, I'm going to take my arrow back now. So let me just, and I will. Thank you, Barbara. Oh my goodness, that is very generous. You are all great. You are all keeping me going. That is so generous. Oh my goodness, that is so generous of all of you. I am so appreciative of all the high generosity. That is so amazing. I really appreciate that, all of you. Yes. So that is the Eagle Nebula. I'm going to point my arrow right at it here. That is the annotated one. Now, in order to find it, it's going to be not so easy because I have to zoom out, and let's see if I can find it for you. From the orientation, it may not be so straightforward to find it. And I hope I'm going in the right direction here, because I believe the Eagle Nebula should be somewhere where I'm pointing the arrow, somewhere around here, okay? If I am not mistaken, okay? If I'm not mistaken. Let me zoom in a little bit more and see if I can find it here. I hope I'm going in the right direction here, because, you know, I may get the orientation wrong. So, you know what, forgive me if I don't find the Eagle Nebula live, but you know what I can do for you? We'll take a telescope one day and I will do the Eagle Nebula live with a big telescope, okay? So that's what I can definitely do for you, okay? Pamina, Pamina, you're so generous. Thank you. Pamina has been with me for a long time. Originally, she's from Mexico. She lives in the United States, and she's been following me all the time in Periscope. Thank you so much. That is so kind of you. I really, really appreciate all your generosity. It's going to make my... Okay, we're live again. Okay, we're live again. I'm live again. Okay, we're live again. Okay, sorry, something happened with our internet. I'm live again. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Sorry, I'm just going to wait a second for you to see me, because we had some interruptions. Sometimes it happens because we're very remote, but it looks like everything's okay. It's okay. I'm just going to wait for you. Can you see me type? Okay. Hopefully I'm going to be... hopefully you'll be able to see me again. I apologize. Sometimes the internet is down, but I think we are back live now, okay? Everything should be fine. I'm going to just wait a moment till I get some some responses, because I still have a lot to show you. Sorry about that. Sometimes our internet isn't so great up here. So I'm just going to hang on, and hopefully I'll get some comments again. Let's see, the live chat should be working. I'm wondering, I'm wondering if there's a problem with the live chat again, where I cannot see your comments. My goodness. Let me just see if I can refresh my page here. Okay, I'm just going to try. 1 second. Okay. Okay, yes, it's working. I can see you. Okay, great. Yes, it's working. Okay, got it. It's working. I can see you. My apologies. Sometimes, we are in a very remote place, and you can hear me again. I'm so excited to show you a lot more, and it's very frustrating when the internet breaks down. M15. No, it was M16. The Eagle Nebula is M16. Okay, M16. Okay, this picture is still beautiful. Okay, well, thank you. Oh, my Ursula, thank you so much for the $20. That's so kind. That is so generous of all of you. It keeps me going. So let's move on. I've got such exciting things to show you tonight. One thing I did want to show you is, what does Christian do during the day? Okay, what am I doing during the day? So I want to show you quickly something really funny. Okay, so you may have seen this. This is what I took with my cell phone in the morning. Okay, so at night I take all these images, and then during the day we can see all these kangaroos jumping around, and you can see that, right? And what's even more fascinating, I wanted to show you a little bit of my life here. Okay, so I own one of these telescopes here. I won't get into that now, but that's I'm going to use one of the telescopes in one of the sessions to actually show you the Eagle Nebula. How's that? Okay, I think there's a lot of excitement about the Eagle Nebula. So how about we do something really crazy? I have a very crazy idea. I'm going to make a challenge that nobody's ever done before here, and I'll announce it. I want to show you an eagle one day with my wildlife camera from Vancouver, and in parallel use a remote telescope to show you in parallel the Eagle Nebula. How would that be? It's never been done before, and I will show it to you live. I will control a remote telescope, show you the Eagle Nebula, and I will at the same time show you the picture of an eagle in a nest. How's that? And then that would be the ultimate crazy thing, huh? That's and it's possible. I know how to do this. Okay. But since you're also excited about the Eagle Nebula, I thought that would be something we could do. Why not, right? Why not? So I will remotely control a telescope from Vancouver here in Australia, which will be daytime for us. So I should be able to see an eagle, and at the same time show you the Eagle Nebula. That would be it. Okay. Now, something else that's quite exciting. I just wanted to show you what I did last night, because this is really beautiful. Last night, I put my camera inside a huge observatory, and they allowed me in there. Yeah, that'll be a nice duo, wouldn't it? It would be a wonderful duo. And I put my camera there inside an observatory. You see this huge 2-meter telescope, huge 2-meter telescope, and I took images all night. That's my camera, and I put it on auto, and it was taking images all night, and this is what it resulted in. I just wanted to show you this quickly. Hopefully the bandwidth is sufficient to show you this beautiful time lapse. So this time lapse is, you can see this huge 2-meter telescope moving throughout the night, and you see the Milky Way, and this is really how the Milky Way is at night. And you've just seen it. Okay, you've seen it exactly like that, and I've just compiled this a few hours ago, and this is the result. And this is the type of work that I love doing, because it is so nice to make science and astronomy visible for everyone. And see, when I walk along, and I'm not joking, I took exactly 24 hours ago, and this is one of the telescopes, and you can see how the Milky Way, can you recognize the horse again there? Do you recognize the horse? That is, I took this picture exactly 24 hours ago, walking along the street, and really there were kangaroos next to me, and they make lots of noise, and there you can see the Milky Way slowly. You can see our horse again, and this is one of the pictures I took, okay? And this is absolutely marvelous. And this is the experience that you would have when you would walk here, okay? And what else do you see? I want to show you a few other images that I just took. Another one that was just taken. Yes, you see the horse. And this is the big 4-meter dome that you just saw. And when I walk close to it and point my camera up, and this is just taking a 30-second exposure, that's what it looks like. And then you get these incredible images. Now, you would think this looks like a dust storm. No, this is not a dust storm. This is the Milky Way behind that. That is the Milky Way. Isn't that crazy? That is the Milky Way slowly sinking at night, just before it goes down, and it's covering all the trees. That is the Milky Way, taken with a huge lens. Okay, and that's another picture of the Milky Way. There you see one of the legs of the horse. Can you see it, right? It's incredible, isn't it? And that's the type of work I'm doing here. Christian, how can we... oh, that's well, you're so welcome. I'm so glad you're enjoying this. And then you were talking about air glow. Somebody says it looks a bit reddish. Yes, sometimes the sky looks a little bit reddish. And this is another image I just took. These are all new images that I haven't even published yet. And that's a typical, that's a typical image that you would get, right? It's another one. And that is a picture. 2 days ago, I was doing a quick test. You remember I was standing on the left. That's the 4-meter dome. And again, you can see looking up at the 4-meter dome, and there you can see the Milky Way, gloriously and very bright looking at you. How does it look with the naked eye? Teresa, that is something you have to experience. Only I can tell you it is marvelous. It is maybe why I get so creative here, because the Milky Way is overwhelmingly beautiful. Even when I look up right now as I'm talking to you, I can see it is so bright because it is close to new moon now, and it is exactly, if you would take your camera, and the pictures I'm taking is something that you could also do. Okay, these are all pictures that I've taken, just pointing my camera up. Okay, and things that you could enjoy, right? And that gives you sort of an idea. Well, let's take another live picture. Nothing better than taking a live picture. So the sky has moved a bit, so I'm going to point my camera up now, and let's jump back to the live view, okay? Because you can hear the passion. That's great. So I'm going to jump out now and back to my live picture. At the moment, the live picture, as you can see, look, I'm moving this big, you see that moving left and right very, very carefully. If you look carefully, you can see some stars move, okay? Now if I put on my 24mm lens, you would see the Milky Way pop out like crazy. It would look like a storm is evolving behind the trees. Okay, that's how I took it. This is a 16mm lens, but you can still see it. I put the 16 on at the moment so that you can actually gently see the Milky Way move behind. But let's take another picture, okay? So here we go. I'm pointed it to a different area now, and the Milky Way is slowly sinking now. So that is the pictures that you've seen below. So in a few seconds we should be able to see another live picture. And here we go. And you can see now the Milky Way, indeed, this beautiful picture that I've taken. You can see this is something you could take yourself, right? So there you go. That is the Milky Way slowly sinking in the east, in the west. And this is exactly, that's a 10-second one. That's a 10-second one. I'm running here at ISO 20,000. It's amazing, okay? I'm running at a very high ISO so that you can see the whole beautiful structure behind the trees now. And the Milky Way is getting very low there. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? There are the arms of the Milky Way stretching, all the dust clouds stretching out Isn't that incredible? And there, that is actually part of Antares, Scorpion. It's beautiful, this part, because you can actually see the Scorpion here. This is incredible. That's Antares, by the way. It's a very bright yellow star, and this here is all part of the Scorpion. You may have seen the Scorpion. It's got this incredibly beautiful arch, and the Scorpion really looks like a scorpion. It stretches right into the Milky Way, into the dust clouds, and then it sort of cuts off at a 90-degree angle right into the middle of the Milky Way, pointing more or less into the direction of the galactic center. Okay, and that's the type of things you would see here. Okay, this is absolute in real time. Okay, there you see it's really beautiful. You see that incredible dust cloud that stretches all the way to the main part of Scorpius. Okay, that is the sign, and that then meets Sagittarius. Okay, and that is how we experience the night sky here. No joke. This is this is how we see it. And what is also so incredible, because already we can see part of the winter constellations coming up. You may have heard of Taurus, right? You may have heard of the Pleiades, and in an hour or two we will see them rising from the east already. Okay, just before sunrise. I can't point my camera. I'm just looking if I can see them already. I'm just looking if I... you know what? Let's take another look at the Magellanic Clouds, okay? 1 second. They should be a lot higher now. So I'm going to turn my camera and I'm going to take another picture. And I want to see if I can show the Magellanic Clouds to you. No, those are the two galaxies, okay? Can you see Orion? No, we cannot see Orion. There they are. We cannot see Orion yet, but you see that's the large and the small Magellanic Clouds. Orion comes later. Orion I would be able to see probably September, October in the early morning, okay? I see lots of shooting stars. My goodness, so many. You cannot believe it. I could make so many wishes here, and you're helping me with your kind donations. A lot of my wishes are coming true. So obviously I'm seeing a lot of shooting stars here. Yes. Can you see Venus or the planets? We were just looking at Saturn. Saturn is right in the middle of the dust clouds. So I didn't point Saturn out to you, but there's Saturn. Venus is probably, I don't remember if it's the morning or evening now. I forgot that. I need to look it up. I believe it's in the morning. But yes, the answer is you can definitely see Venus, and where Mercury is at the moment, I don't have it in my head. But Saturn is the most prominent one, and Jupiter too. Okay, Jupiter we can see in the early evening. You can see Jupiter set. Okay, there's a question, Tim. Is there an optimum month of the year? Yes, and it's about now. I think between April and July is the best time to visit the southern hemisphere. In April, you will see the whole Milky Way rise in the east. And then you can see Sagittarius right up in the zenith, and in the early morning you will see it there where you see it in the evening now, because the sky moves at 2 hours per month. There's 24 hours in the day, 12 months, so that means the sky moves 2 hours per month, which is equivalent to 4 minutes per day. 4 minutes is very much. 4 minutes it moves every day. So every day, what I see tomorrow is going to appear 4 minutes earlier, and so on, and so on, and so on, right? And that all has to do, of course, with our journey around the sun, okay? And our orientation, right? That's what it all has to do with. So in a year, that's the cycle we go through, okay? Because we are getting this one free ride around the sun, and that takes an additional 24 hours to rotate once around it, okay? And that makes the time difference in this whole rotation. If we were standing static, you'd always see the same day and night, okay? Have you ever seen something unexplainable? You, you know, this is always an interesting question. I can tell you the only thing that I get really scared of sometimes is kangaroos. Where I walk at night and you hear this bump next to me, and you hear these the things in the bushes. That scares the heck out of me. And we had a red fox coming right to our door tonight. That was very incredible. But as far as the sky is concerned, I know a few astronomers who've seen a lot of things that they can't explain. Okay, a lot. And I myself, no, I've seen lots of the Southern Cross. Yes, where's the Southern Cross? You can barely see the Southern Cross at the moment because I can see Antares beautifully here, but I can only see the pointers. They're just behind the tree now. Okay, but the Southern Cross is definitely there, and it's just rotating. Hi from New York. It's high from New York. So let's take a few more images. I just want to show you what the rest of the sky looks like. So let's just point it right back. I want to show you how quickly the Milky Way is sinking now. So I'm just going to, that's a live view. Okay. You will see that in just a short moment. Okay, hang on. I just have to fix the mount here so it's not rotating. 1 second. Let me just do this quickly. Oh, 1 second. Where can I do this? Oh, I have to find everything in the dark, because if it rotates then we'll have a funny picture. Ah, here I found the lever. Okay, here we go. Let me try the same picture again. Ah, wait, sorry. 1 second. Here we go. Okay, I'm taking another image. For school science classes, yes, I would love to give this to. I would love them to see that. Okay, can you see how quickly the Milky Way is sinking now? I intentionally rotated it a little bit more so you can see that. Okay, you can see how quickly the Milky Way, and it looks like a storm is coming up, isn't it? It looks like an incredible storm is coming up. So just in the short time, you can see how the Milky Way is setting now. Isn't that incredible? That is a live picture, and that's what you would be seeing here. So very, very marvelous. Well, let me point to the east now, because there's no Milky Way there. Okay, so there's no Milky Way because the Milky Way is but I still want to show it to you so that you get a feeling of what the night sky looks like. So let me just do this quickly. Just loosen the rotation. So I'm going to point in the other direction now, and let me just get the 1 second. I'm just going to lower the camera. Let me just lower the camera quickly. Okay, 1 second, because it has to point almost horizontal now. Okay, there we go. Now let's see what we see. I don't know what we're going to see, so I'm just going to okay, 1 second. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm pointing the camera almost horizontally to the east now, so that you can see that. Okay, there we go. 10 seconds. Let's see what we see. Oh, that's what you see. You see our garden. Ah, okay. Well, you can see my bright. Okay, you can see my bright lamp here and so on. That's not good. I have to go a little bit higher. Okay, and you can see a little bit light from the house. So let's. But I mean, this is fine. You know, you can see this is live. This is live. This is exactly what I want to show you. And you can see my laptop. That was me. Can you see a little bit of me in front there in my laptop? That's a live picture. Okay. So I have to avoid my laptop. Let's try again. Take another picture. I just pointed a little bit upward, but you can see this is very much live. That was me and my laptop. So let's take another picture. Now that's a bit better. You can still see a little bit of my laptop, and you can see there's a lot of air glow. That's what I meant, a lot of air glow. So I'm going to point a little bit higher now. Let me point the camera a bit higher and point a little bit more to the north. But you can see there's, let's just get this. It could also be a bit of glow here from my screen interfering. 1 second. Because I'm pointing in the direction of my screen, which is not so good. Okay, another click. Here we go. I mean, this is all a live show. And that's exactly what I want you to see. Let's see what we see now. And maybe we'll see something unusual. Oh, there's my laptop again. Oh, I need to point a lot higher. Okay, this is not good. It's getting all the light from my laptop, unfortunately. I need to point I need to point it a lot higher to the zenith. Hang on. I will do that. I need to point this higher. 1 second. Let's see if I can do this. Where is the... I have to always think because there's so many adjustments here. And do all this at night. So just bear with me 1 second. Just bear with me. Let me see. Where was that lever that allows me to point this higher? Everything is always upside down here. Let's see. Oops. Okay, well, let's take a picture like this. At the moment, I don't know where this lever is. I'll have to get up to do that, but I'm just going to take another picture. See if this is sufficient now. Here we go. It's 2 a.m. Yes, it's 2 a.m. But I'm enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying this as much. Laptop time. Yes, laptop says it's 2 a.m. That's exactly right. That's my time. Okay, I'm going to just get up 1 second. I want to point this at the zenith. 1 second. I have to get up very carefully so I don't scratch the car behind me. 1 second. Okay. Oops. I don't fall over my wires here. Let me see. Okay. That's this. 1 sec. Where is it now? Where is my... Ah, here we go. I found it. Okay. Okay. Sorry about this. Now, that's easier. Take another picture. Okay, here we go. I'm pointing much more at the zenith now. Hopefully the glow doesn't come in from the screen now. Ah, that's much better. Okay, let's see. Let me just zoom in a little bit. I think it's still getting a bit of glow there, but anyway, I'm just going to try and zoom in. See if we get this a bit better. Ah, there we go. Well, what you're looking at is millions of stars, okay? Just millions of stars. So I'm going to rotate it back to the Milky Way. I think it's more interesting. I would need a much closer, but it's still beautiful, isn't it? I mean, it's just incredible. So I'm going to just rotate my camera right back to the Milky Way now. I think that's easier. So let me just get this back again. 1 second. I need to get up again. There, now let's rotate back. Okay. So there we go. And let's see what happened to the Milky Way. 1 sec. I think it's better this way because I think the glow of my... Okay, let's take another picture. I think the glow is of my laptop is interfering a bit. So I'm pointing it away from my laptop. I think it's much better like this. Okay, here we go. Oh, and France, that's wonderful. Yeah, look how low the Milky Way has come now. Oh my goodness. It's almost gone. You see that? You see how much in 1 hour what has happened? Look at that. Can you see Antares has disappeared now? If you have seen what I showed before, I'm going to compare this to an image I showed you before. You see that? You see that? I'm going to just put my arrow back here so you can see. Hang on. If you don't know where 1 second, I'm just going to see this 1 second. There's the arrow. Okay, so Antares is just about here, about this yellow star here. That is Antares, okay? There you go. That is it. And you can see how low it is, and the main part of Scorpion is disappeared already. That's how quickly it is disappearing. Okay, so this is all live. I just wanted to go back now and show you the other pictures. Okay, so if I go back to I'm going to go zoom back in the other pictures now. This is what we took before. This is what we took before. Remember that. And now I just wanted to compare this with the earlier pictures. You see how much higher this was. 1 second. This was an earlier image we took this evening, and so on. And show you how much the Milky Way has moved in just this bit. You see, that's the Milky Way moving. We got that. That's where we started. And you see how the Milky Way is moving. Look at that. So that's just happened in a short time, and now it's nearly disappeared, right? So you can see how quickly it has been moving. 15 degrees per hour. That is a lot, okay? There was my laptop. That was me, okay? There you go. Going back now, those were the images we took, and what I will do when I'm back, I've got beautiful images of the Milky Way here, and what I will do in a few weeks, and maybe in 2 weeks or 3 weeks when I'm back. I'm going to Singapore, by the way. That's afterwards. There's a science center in Singapore, and I will, and please try, and I'm just going to give you the link for that. 1 second. Because I would like you to have a look at this, because it's quite incredible. Let me just see. There we go. Where's the visual SG? Let me just type this 1 second, because yes, here's the link. I found it. Okay, I'm going to copy this quickly and paste it in the comments, because there we go. Here. So there's the link. I typed in the link. Have a look, and you can see what I'm doing there. I wanted to finally show you something incredible. This is what I've been working on. You hear the wind chimes, exactly, the beautiful chimes. That's right. You can hear the beautiful chimes. But what I would like to do when I get back to Vancouver, I'm going to make these beautiful pictures, and I will do it as part of a fundraising for myself. And I will do an auction, okay, on some pictures, and also some of the beautiful eagles. And you know, if you like them, you can buy them. If not, just watch the auction. That's fine. I mean, take only what you really like, but I'm going to show some of the most beautiful images that I have done here, some of my beautiful work. I'll be showing that, and you can then say whatever size you want, if you want a huge size or a small size or whatever, but I would be then you know, sending these pictures free shipping worldwide, okay, as a poster, as part of fundraising, so that I can continue doing my work, okay. So if that is something that you like doing, I will do that sometime in August with my beautiful eagle images, and also some of the Milky Way things. And if you've enjoyed some of the work, you may you may like that, okay. So I just wanted to show you one last thing, and this is really a preview of what I'm going to do in Singapore. Now in Singapore, this is the Science Center, and I'm going to show them something very unique, but don't tell anyone. I'm only showing this to you as a final thing. I'm going to switch my microphone off if I can, because otherwise you're going to hear the chimes no, it doesn't matter, you'll hear the chimes. Okay, I'll leave the microphone on, but I'm going to let this run quickly, and you can see the work that I'm doing. Yes, the date of the Singapore talk is on the 28th of July, and they are going to see. The link doesn't work for me. It should work. I just copied and pasted it. I hope the visual SG should work. Does not work. Visual, hang on, I will copy and paste it again. 1 second. Let's try again. There you go. That should work. That should work. Okay. So I'm going to show you a sneak preview of what I'm going to do there. Okay, here you go. Enjoy. Okay, let's see now. Okay, here I am back live. Okay, I'm back live again, and I hope you enjoyed that. That is the work I've done with an incredible sound engineer together in the States. We composed this. This is around the work that I've been doing, so it shows science in a very visual way, and I've been invited to talk about my work there. It's been featured in National Geographic. It's appeared in the New York Times and many other places. So I feel very, very humbled and honored to be able to go there. And this is what they're going to see there as part of the presentation. Okay, so you know what I'm up to, and that's also how I finance some of my trip, because they're paying for everything for me to go to Singapore, which is very generous. Okay, so I made the stop here in Australia and able to do more pictures, and hopefully you enjoyed that. Okay, so anyway, so I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. I hope you enjoyed the beautiful Milky Way. I could give you a taste of what it is like to be here. Okay, by the way, next year I will be thank you so much. Thank you for all your kind comments. Next year I will be doing astro tours to Australia, okay, for the first time. Okay, and Cosmic Clock Space, that is exactly right. I will be doing I will be doing astro tours to Australia, and I will be showing people how to take these incredible images, and it's that's going to be part of the yeah, of my agenda for next year. Okay, so I'll just take my it's not so cold anymore, so I can take my I just had to protect my head, so it's much better. Thank you for all your kind comments, and I'm so glad the internet kept up. Thank goodness it all worked. We had a small interruption, but thanks for all your generous, really thank you so much for all your generous sponsorship. You know, this really keeps me going. You don't know how much it means to me. It means a lot, because I'd love to continue doing education on wildlife and astronomy maybe in a new way that people don't usually see. Okay, and it should be for families, for people to enjoy a different way. Okay, so thank you so much for spending the time with me, and I'm going to do a few more images now as the Milky Way completely disappears, as you can see. Okay, so I'm glad you could see something that one doesn't see every day. Okay, so thank you for all your comments. I'm keeping on reading them, and I'll end the broadcast now. Okay, so let's see if I can, oops, I'll try it this way. Maybe I can. Yes, okay. Now, say